Thank you so much for tuning in and clicking on this video. It's the latest on trend with your girl, Aunty.
Done shit to you because you're on a I can turn around and say yes, my son's dad was abusive. I put it down on the police records. You know what? Because he knows it's out there and he knows that the police knows about it and it's been out there, we've been to court, right? But as far as I'm concerned, yours never happened. If I was that man and you're here, it's defamation of character because there is nothing there on paper to say that the man abused you. And that's what Pearl was saying. You're here telling thousands of people that this man abused you. What evidence have you got that he abused you? If you turn around, this is like scars ain't got nothing. As far as I'm concerned, you could have fall down the stairs and bust your knee and give them scars because there's nothing legal on paper to say that he was abused.
So he can. Hang on a minute.
Hang on a minute. Let me finish. He can turn around today and he can say, do you know what? Defamation of character because there's nothing there on paper and she's there telling the whole world that I'm abusive. If I'm abusive, where is the record? And that's the problem. Too many people go out there and who have been abused, whether it's men or women, and they make all these accusations in public without any proof. And as far as I'm concerned, if I was a man and I was beating on a woman and the woman ain't got the guts enough to go to the police and report it, but she's got guts enough to go and sit down on social media and tell the whole world, I'm going to go and take it up with her. I'm going to go and take it up because as far as I'm concerned, that's defamation of character.
Let him come. I've got plenty of evidence. I will not go to the
evidence. You ain't got no evidence.
According to who? Where do you know me from, Aunty?
According to the law, because if you had evidence, the police would have had the evidence. Whether or not you want to take it further,
I wanted to go and take it further, I could do it right now.
But you never done it.
I didn't do it. Ask me why.
You never. I don't care why you ain't done it. Because as far as I'm concerned, if you ain't done it, in my view, it hasn't happened. It has not happened.
You've
because there's nothing there on paper. Definitely what?
Been living in the UK for too long.
What do you mean? I take that as an insult. How do you know where I live? How do you know where I live?
Oh, 1 minute.
He has the same. No, I said that I was born here and I raised. And I also told you that I go to Barbados 3 times a year. So where I come from has got nothing to do. And if you're going to insult me properly. Because as far as I'm concerned, you're sitting down there and you're talking about respecting your elders. And then you're going to come and tell me some bullshit like that. Well, let me tell you, right, it don't matter. If I was abused in Barbados, I would have been reporting it in Barbados.
Yeah, what would they do in Barbados? It's more likely that they wouldn't even help you.
What are you talking about? Yes. Don't knock it till you've tried it. You can't talk about what
I know. I've tried it. I've seen
it. You can't talk about what you don't know. You ain't tried it because you already said you did not report it. And you can't talk about the laws in Barbados because the laws in Barbados are up to queue with the laws in the West. Let me tell you that.
The laws in the West don't work.
They got them. They don't work if you don't damn well use them. If you don't use them,
the law is used.
Try using them. How come it work for me? How come it work for me? How can it work for me? I reported it. How can it work for me? Now I'm going to ask myself that because I am not there bringing down somebody on social media just for publicity's sake.
Oh, don't need publicity.
That is why they're talking about all the stats because the stats will be all out of sync because of people like that.
Woo! Right. Okay. So I don't have the full context of the video, but I'm going to try and dissect it and just kind of give you guys my little 2 pence as I usually do. Hi guys, thank you for tuning in. It is your girl Aunty and I'm here to do a reaction on this small clip that's been circulating online. Like I said, I don't know the full context of it, but I think I've heard enough for me to be able to give my little 2 pence as just like a generic open floor for conversation. First of all, there is a difference in opinion of this. Like some people are saying that this is borderline victim shaming. It's almost giving the abusers a room or a space for them to use defamation of character if the victim hasn't reported it and you know they've managed to get away with it, and it's kind of giving them that leeway. It was kind of giving them that permission to kind of be like, well, you know what, actually to shut you up or to kind of take some kind of legal action against you. I'm going to go down the route of defamation of character. This is tricky. One thing though, Aunty came with all the smoke. Okay, she came ready. She was just like, listen, I didn't even come with the smoke, I came with the fire. I'm gonna set all of you ablaze. One thing I would have loved to see is a bit more of like an open conversation. I would have loved for her to control herself a bit more, in the sense that say your piece but then let someone else talk. Like if you go into debate about something, like let the defendant talk for themselves and let's hear what she also has to say. Everybody on that chair was just kind of like scratching their heads like, damn, I'm not even going to go into that house because that house is set ablaze. I'm going to get burnt. Nobody wanted to get burnt. And even the guy was trying to be like, auntie, like, can we cool it down? I would be like, yo, you know what, we need to talk about this properly. Like, let's let other people talk. You've said your piece. Like, we need to have a proper conversation because this is something that clearly needs to be discussed, and I can understand you're passionate about it, but at the end of the day there may be people who are going through this who are not talking, because she is making a good point. At the end of the day, like, I've always said this, like, anytime that I have spoken, by the way, I want to put a trigger warning on this video, anytime I have spoken about abuse or domestic abuse or what so, it's never because, oh, it's a woman talking about it, so I'm just going to lean more on the woman and what the woman is saying. No, I like to be objective in my response and neutral when it comes to having this kind of discussion. It's not because I'm a woman that anything that women do, I'm going to stand for it. No, because like she said, there are a lot of women who do make up lies, and men also who do make up lies, especially in the society that we're in. Women know that the moment I say this, I'm going to be favored just because I'm a woman, and that is just the world that we are living in. When we're talking about certain things, there are just certain things in society that do favor a lot more, and that is facts. That's just the way that it is. And she did make another point which to me, I feel like, yeah, why don't we actually question that? Why don't we ponder on that? You know, if you are going to go through abuse and you feel like, now I want to, you know, I want to report it, I want to talk about it, you know, I want something to be done about it, why is your first instinct going to social media without you even going to the police? Why are you like why are you coming to social media as if social media is the law? Like, it is not. And we need to break away from these habits that we do, like going to social media as if social media has the power or is the law or is going to change anything. If you really want to report something that you've gone through, which I can completely understand the fact that with anything like abuse, victims are not just going to straight up just like talk about it. For some people it will take years. It will take years, because it's not just the physical abuse that you go through, it is the mental abuse that you go through. And with that mental abuse, it breaks you down to the point where you feel like you don't even know the reason why you exist. You literally feel like you've been broken into like thousands and thousands of pieces. You don't even know where to start repairing yourself. You feel like it's your fault what's happened to you. You feel like you deserved it what's happened to you. You feel like nobody's going to listen to you, nobody's going to believe you. Number one, because you stayed longer than you should have. Number two, because you kept going back. Number three, possibly because you protected him. You know, there's so many things along the way of you going through that abuse, things that you did that would make you feel like you contributed, or that would make you feel like you deserved it, you know, because it is that mental, that psychological breakdown that abuser did to you. So there is so many different variants and aspects of going through domestic violence that is not just straightforward. Talking about it straight away is never a first response, and that's fine, and we have to accept that. So where you might be stronger and you might be like, no, you hit me once, I'm out, I'm done. Do you know what? You hit me once, we'll fight. You know what? And some people might be like, you hit me once, and what the abuser will do is that they will use a form of manipulation. They will use something, you know, where they could get their claws back into your life, where they could hook onto you, where they would stay, you know, and they'll make you feel like, no, actually, he's okay. Like, he's actually a good person. No, she's actually a really good person. When they're good, they're good. When they're bad, they're bad. But I just have to be good so that I don't bring out that bad in them, you know. And that's what the abuser will do. It will make you think that it's your fault, like you have to fix yourself. You are the reason why they get angry and lash out. You are the reason why they hit you, or they've punched you, or they've kicked you because of something that you did, because of the way that you dress. You are the reason why they are jealous. You are the reason reason why when you go out and you don't pick up your phone, when you get back home, it's going to be a letdown for you because you disobey them. That's what the abuser will make you think. And so for some people, they just don't have that strong sense of identity within them to actually be like, you know what, I value myself, I know who I am, and this is not what I deserve, and I'm going to leave and never look back. And so it takes them a lot longer to talk about it, to speak up. So we can never use that to say that, you know what, because you didn't speak up, I don't believe you never went through it. That person can you know, that person can sue you for defamation of character. Now, I'm not saying that that's what she's saying, but I'm just giving, you know, just different angles. And another thing is, yes, if you're going to get to that point where you feel like, you know what, now is the time, I have to speak up, I have to do something about it, go to the police. Like, how are you going to come to social media and you haven't gone to the police, bro? What's social media going to do for you? What is social media? What are strangers that you don't even know? What are they going to do for you? And this is the problem. Someone said, I think I read it in the comments somewhere, like, it's actually, domestic violence is one of the hardest convictions, because number one, it's hard it's hard to have evidence against that person, because you're not going to keep record of everything. In fact, you might not even know when it started, because it will literally be like a little small seed that was sown and you didn't even realize it. You didn't even realize that was the beginning of that domestic abuse journey in your life. You know, him just shouting at you, him speaking to you in a certain way, him swearing at you, him calling you out of your name, you know, him just threatening that, bro, you do that one more time, I'm gonna slap you, you know, I'm gonna slap you in your face. And, you know, like, just certain comments, like, if you ever cheat on me, I'll kill you. Like, those certain words, like, you never thought, you couldn't even trace it to see. Only for some people, years later, when you come out of it, you look back and be like, raw, like, you know what, the way that they were behaving, I thought that was love. I thought that they cared about me. And actually, that was the beginning of that abuse journey. So yeah, I definitely think that there's a lot of points that Aunty made, but at the same time, I kind of feel like that was like, you're coming with a lot of fire, sis. Like, you're coming with a lot, and you're making a good point, and you're standing your ground. And I'm 100% here with the whole, you coming to social media, you don't have no evidence. But at the same time, and she sounds like she's talking for someone who has gone through abuse, because she was like, she did report it in was it Barbados? She did report it, obviously, when the other girl was trying to be like, the laws are different or whatnot. She said she did report it, and I think it was done, something was done about it. It's a very, very tricky space to be in, and it's a really difficult thing to go through. Number one, because there is just so many different things, like, it's not as easy. And a lot of times people always be like, if that person ever lay hands on me, you'll see. But it's not until you are actually in that situation, then you'll really know how you would actually deal with it, you know. And sometimes it doesn't matter how strong you are, that can even get to the strongest of them all. And it's just one of those things where we need to learn to have real discussions where I will call you out. Like, if you do something, sis, and you're lying and you're over exaggerating a situation, like, if you put yourself in certain situations that you shouldn't have put yourself in, and you are exaggerating what happened, you're not taking accountability, I will call you out. I will call you out, because that is the reason why real victims are not being heard, and they are scared to come out and to talk. But if you are really going through something, and we need to have a discussion on how do we handle this? How do we handle this to the point where we can save women's lives, because women are dying through this. You know, women are dying through this. You know, how do we build a safety net around women where they can feel safe? I recently watched a video of a man that literally, a woman that was found dead and she released a video before her death. She released a video of how the guy was beating her up. How long was this going on? Who was around her? Like, we have to be radical in certain situations. If you're getting licked down and you are speaking up about it, you've spoken to the police about it, nobody's doing anything about it, what do we do then? What do we do then? You know, what is the answer? How are we supposed to save these women? How are we supposed to save these men in these abusive relationships? You know, these are the kind of conversations and solutions we need to have. I'm all here for the fire, but with your fire, what's the solution? Because you're out here, you're screaming, you're going for it, you're really going for it. What now? Tell us, what do we do? What do we need to do? So yeah, like, this is just like a big conversation. I just feel like we just need to continue having, like, especially within our community, like, domestic abuse, there's different spectrum of it, you know, and it's something that we really need to address. But boy, I wish, you know what, I wish I was in that room, like, because I was just like, damn, I would have let her finish, and then I would have matched the fire, like, let's just say, because let's be passionate about it. It is a passionate topic, and I can understand her passion because it sounds like she's been through it. Just little bits that I picked up, she's been through it. So yeah, some women will be passionate about it, you know, because some women who have sons, that women have tried to destroy their sons' lives, friends, you know, male friends, women have tried to destroy their lives with their lies, you know. And so we need to be passionate about it. We need to call out women who make up lies, but at the same time we need to protect the victims, and we need to ensure that the right precautions are made and people know how to address certain things, you know. So she just seems like one of those women that's just like, I'm going to give you tough love. I've been through it, I've experienced it, I've come out of it, there is no excuse. And I'm here for that, because I think we need that balance sometimes. It's not every day like, oh, pamper people. Like, no, now is not the time to pamper people, because it's such an aggressive world out there, and we need to learn to literally stand strong on our feet, and we need to learn how to handle certain situations. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I would love to hear it. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and I'll speak to you guys in my next video. Bye.